One rainy evening, exhausted from a double shift, Ethan recorded a simple, raw clip of himself singing one of his original songs. He didn't fix the audio or edit anything. He just posted it online with the words, "This is my voice. This is my story." He didn't expect anything. He didn't even check his phone for hours. 3 days later, he woke up to hundreds of notifications. His video had exploded, hundreds of thousands of views, thousands of comments, offers to collaborate, and messages from people telling him how deeply the song touched them. But among all the excitement, one message stopped him cold. "Your voice feels familiar. Are you Ethan? Ethan James?" Ethan stared at the name. James was not his last name. At least, not the one he grew up with. He ignored the message. Maybe a scam. Maybe someone confused. But the same person messaged again the next day, then again the day after. Finally, curiosity won. Ethan responded with a simple, "Do I know you?" The reply came in seconds. "I think I might be your sister." Ethan felt his chest tighten. His hands went numb. A sister? That word didn't exist in his world. He sat there for minutes, just staring at the screen. The woman introduced herself as Sarah James, a 32-year-old nurse living in Oregon. She explained that years ago, her parents had told her that they once had a baby boy who was taken away due to circumstances they rarely talked about: poverty, instability, and a system that moved faster than they could fix their lives. Sarah had spent years quietly searching, holding on to the hope that her brother was still out there somewhere. She found Ethan's video by accident. But the moment she heard him sing, she said his voice sounded exactly like their father's. Ethan didn't know whether to believe her, or run from the idea altogether. They decided to meet in person, somewhere public, somewhere neutral. Ethan arrived early at a small cafe in Portland. He sat by the window, fingers tapping nervously. When the door opened and a woman walked in, holding her breath like she'd been running, he knew instantly. There was something familiar in her eyes, something he never had but somehow recognized. She walked to him slowly. "Ethan?" He nodded. Her voice cracked. "I've waited my whole life to say this. I'm your sister." She hugged him before he knew how to react. And in that moment, something inside him softened, something he didn't even know was hardened. Over the next hours, Sarah told him everything. Their parents were young and struggling when he was born. A mistake during a social services check took him away. Their parents tried for years to get him back, but the system moved too quickly, and foster homes moved him even faster. Eventually, paperwork got lost. Names got changed. And Ethan disappeared into the system. But they never forgot him. Sarah showed him old photos, a young couple holding a newborn wrapped in a blue blanket. Ethan had never seen his own baby picture before. Tears filled his eyes as he stared at the photo. The first proof that he belonged somewhere. Sarah invited him to meet their parents that same weekend. Ethan hesitated. What if they didn't like him? What if it was all too overwhelming? But something in Sarah's gentle insistence made him agree. The next day, Ethan stood outside a small house in rural Oregon. His heart hammered in his chest. When the door opened, an older man and woman stepped out, eyes red, hands trembling. The woman covered her mouth, tears streaming instantly. "Ethan," she whispered. He nodded again. She rushed forward, wrapping him in a hug that felt like years of lost time collapsing at once. His father placed a hand on his back, voice breaking as he said, "We've been waiting for you, son." For the first time in his life, Ethan felt what family felt like. Over the next weeks, Ethan stayed with them, learning stories about his childhood, hearing why things happened the way they did, and realizing that his parents were not heartless. They were young, scared, poor, and caught in a system bigger than them. His music career also took a turn. A well-known producer reached out after watching his viral video. Ethan signed his first official recording contract. He moved into a better apartment. He began performing on small stages. His following grew. His dreams were finally becoming real. But the best part? Every show he performed, his new family sat in the front row, cheering, crying, living every moment with him. One night, during a sold-out small venue performance, Ethan stopped mid-stage. The lights softened. The crowd quieted. He smiled as he looked at his family and said into the mic, "I spent so long chasing my dreams, never knowing I was also chasing my family. I didn't just find success, I found where I belong." The crowd erupted into applause. Ethan realized that life doesn't always give you what you ask for, but sometimes, it gives you exactly what you need when you least expect it.